Hi everybody, this is Rhys Barber from Audiology Associates. I hope you have a fab weekend, guys. So we're back to work today on Monday. Now this patient's come through, it's just one patient in this video today. Patient's come through feeling really blocked up in both sides. This was actually the better hearing of the two ears, you can see here. But we've got this very, very deep section of wax here. Would you say this is impacted? I'm not too sure. I think this is probably just ended up in this particular section. Patient doesn't use cotton buds, Q-tips, nothing like that. But what we can see here is we've got this mixture of skin and wax in this particular one. Now what we do get on this one is a really good anterior recess bit of wax removal, so stay tuned for that one. So what we can see here, we've got this very deep section we're lifting. You can see the skin layers in here lifting off as well. It's all just managed to move and impact. So the patient was saying that they were in the shower one day, washing their hair, a little bit of water went inside their ears, and bump, they couldn't hear anything. I think what's probably happened is this plug was actually a lot further towards the outer part of the ear canal. Some water's got in and dislodged it from where it was sat on the canal wall, and it's actually gone further in, and that's what's happened here. So it was actually resting against the eardrum, this plug, and it's dried out over time, hasn't really shifted, and that's what's caused this blockage here. So we're just going to lift. There we go. You can see how it's starting to come away really nicely, and this sort of ribbon, this layer of skin that's running through this is almost kind of holding it together. You can see I'm pulling it here, and it's gone from the bottom straight up through the middle and into the top section there. So we're just pulling that away. Now if you watch the video on Friday, you'll have seen that we get this we have this very, very soft and sticky type wax. Now, as we take that skin ribbon away, you'll start to see this section is very similar. We've got these slightly harder pieces in here, but behind that, the wax has become super soft. Now, I think what's happened is where the water's been going in from baths and showers, it's been kind of getting behind that first initial section and then sitting there and pooling and softening this wax up. But unfortunately, that means it's now stuck to the eardrum. So we've got to work really carefully here. I want to try and peel this down away from the drum for two reasons. First of all, it's going to help the patient to hear a lot better straight away as this starts to come away from that eardrum. But the other thing is, we're going to have to lift, which is what you can see me starting to do here. Now, if we've detached a lot more of the top section, and when we do perform the lift, it's more likely to draw this whole thing out. There's a lot of dead skin down in that recess, though. As I'm kind of pulling this, I can see little bits of dead skin coming away here. It's really kind of having to work hard. You can actually see this suction tube, you can see the wax just kind of getting drawn into the center there. There we go. Oh, now we're starting to see a lot more of the eardrum. You can see how it's really starting to uncover the drum now. Let's see if we can lift this out of the recess. What I'm hoping for here, I'm just gonna get a grip on the very leading edge of this wax to lift it up. What I'm hoping for here is that the whole thing will lift out of the recess in one piece. Oh, not quite, not quite. There's a heck of a lot down in there, mind. There we go, another little bit of skin. You can see that how it's attached, all these little sort of layers of skin that have all wedged themselves down in this recess, and now they're all attached together. So as I'm drawing one up, it just luckily lifts the next section just up slightly so I can get a good grip here. There we are. See how it's all starting to kind of implode down a little bit, but we've still got this big scooped section here. Let's get rid of that piece. As we pull down from the top, what I'm doing is, because there's not quite enough room on the wax, surface of the wax, to be able to drop the suction tube straight onto it, I used the top section and pulled that down first, and that created a bigger surface area to hold onto. But you can really see this, how it's all stuck down into that recess, and this skin layer doesn't want to give up the fight here at all. It's really holding on. You can see I'm trying to lift this, coax it over the top of the recess. Oh, it's really hanging on in there. There we go, you can there we are. See how, those are the sort of layers that we've got in here. So we've got layer upon layer upon layer. So I've swamped this with olive oil. I've put loads and loads and loads in here, because if I get a bit of movement next time, I'm hoping that with that oil in there as well, it's gonna pull the whole thing. So we've got the fine end on here now as well. Let's aim for this big chunky bit here at the top and see if we can draw this across. There we go. That's a nice section. You can see how it just slid across the olive oil as well on the surface of the canal wall. Let's get this next section. There we go. You can see it hovering just in front. Now we're going to try and get a good grip and draw across again. Gosh, there is so much down in here. As I got a grip on that section, I could see this section to the left-hand side just starting to lift. So let's concentrate on that. Oh, there we go. That's good. That's come away really nicely. So let's work our way back along. How much is down in here? I know, I've seen it before. But there is a lot down in there. Oh, we've gone very dark. There we go. So we're back in again now. Aiming for that top corner there. Draw it. Oh, there we go. Did you see that start to draw across there? Keep an eye on this now, guys. Look at that skin layer coming away. It's deceptive how much is down in that area there. Now, up until this point, the patient had felt they were hearing a little bit better. But when we start to remove this last section, the patient actually said, oh my goodness, that's so much better. They could hear a massive difference when this came away. So let's lift. There we go. You can see it's drawing these pieces of skin up. This is really painstaking work, this one, because you've really got to be patient with this. Look how that's coming away. Look at what, we've already taken a lot from down there, but there is so much hiding down in that recess. Oh, I can just see a little bit more. Now, it doesn't appear like there's a lot down in there now. It's just, oh, nearly. I'm trying to avoid the eardrum, the canal wall here. Look at this. As it comes away, watch this. So look at it. On first glance, it doesn't look like anything. Well, look at that chunky bit that was sitting down in there. Where was that hiding? Basically, you could just see the top of it. When that came away, I was like, oh my God, there's a lot. But there was so much left down in there. And that would have been so easily missed. You can see the eardrum looking so much better. We got a little bit on the left-hand side, but that's going to come away with the patient's next pathogen. But you can see how it's so easily missed. And sometimes we get patients coming through and they've had suction or some form of earwax removal, and they've not really been feeling much of the benefit. And you go back in, you find these big old chunky bits left down in there, and it makes a massive difference. There was an audible difference. The patient was really expressed how much more they could hear when that last little bit came away. So it looks like nothing from the surface, but it was making such a big impact further in. Anyway, this is the patient's other ear canal. You can see here, this is tough stuff. It's a good old chunky plug, this one, rather than that kind of soft, sticky stuff we were just removing from the other ear canal. So we've got a good grip here. I'm trying to coax this down the ear canal and folding it over from the side. There we go. But you can see it's moving, but we can see these sort of dry skin layers in there as well, which means it's not got the full range of movement of this wax I'd like it to. It's more just kind of spinning slightly. Really holding on to this. As we pull that bit of skin, you can see how it's interwoven into the rest of that plug of wax. There we are. Let's get a grip on this next section. Trying to draw this forwards, but it's now wedged. We've spun it and it's actually got stuck. As we pulled that last little bit of skin, it turned the wax, but we can see here that the depth of the wax there and the length of the wax, if you like, doesn't allow it to turn. And we're going to hit this kind of block just there, and it's not going to budge from that point. So we're going to switch now to the Jobson horn. Into the gap as far back as we can safely see, and then draw this down. You can see a much darker color wax there. So I'm just scooping just behind this front section here. There we go. Whoops. Out that comes. Nice big plug there. There's more in here though, so we're going to go back in and get the remainder out. Now, there we go. It's actually brought the next section forwards. So we'll go back in now, grab, oh, it's not, I thought it was going to pull the whole plug, but it's just taking one side of it away. So that's fine. We'll get rid of that bit first, and we'll go back in then, get the next section. Here we go. There we are. And it started to draw another piece forwards by the looks of it. I can just see the remainder left of the entrance to the ear canal there, but some big old chunky pieces. Now don't forget, this was the patient's worst of the 2 ears. This is one they felt more blocked up in. Which is kind of understandable because you've got quite a big old plug on that. But the other side, I would say, was probably causing more trouble by sitting down against the eardrum. Whereas I think this plug was sitting more on the, there was more of the wax, don't get me wrong, but it was sitting more on the outer part of the ear canal. So not causing as many issues really on this side. But the patient did have a little bit of tenderness to the ear on this side. So they couldn't lay on that ear. And I think that's just because the sheer volume of wax in there was pressing against the canal wall, which can feel quite uncomfortable. So just tidying up some of the looser bits, just a bit of hoovering up there. And there's the eardrum looking nice and healthy on that one. So we'll show you what came out. So this is what we removed. So you can see we've got 5 centimeters, 2 inches worth of wax. That's an easy one to read in inches. Come out of both ears there. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that anterior recess wax removal there. One of my favorite ones to do. I say peels and recess removals are kind of on a par for me. But as always, guys, take care of yourselves, take care of your ears, and take care of one another. I'll see you again on Wednesday. All the best. Bye-bye.